Start streaming. It says connecting. Now if we go to YouTube, we will look at it. It says starting, receiving your content. 5, 4, 3. You are live. The internet can totally see you now, it says.
Is this the time you wave to Willie? Not yet?
Not yet.
You're only allowed to do it once.
I can only wave once.
All right, whenever we're ready.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Let's do this, boys.
Sneaking out of my house, I was just 16. Met you in the dark down by the creek. We messed around till we got cold feet. Summers in Kentucky, they were hard to beat. 25 years later, how our lives have changed. Meeting girls on the road who were half my age. Times I think about the creek when I'm on stage. Summers in Kentucky, man, I miss that place. Used to press your pussy up against my mouth. Now you had a couple kids and it's all stretched out. Starting to think that we can figure this out. Summers in Kentucky wanna be back now. If you ever feel like ditching your man, grab your kids, hit the road with a country band. Room for you all inside my van. Starting our lives all over again. Who am I to say, 'cause I've aged like shit. I think we'd be the perfect fit. Summers in Kentucky, man, I sure miss. Give up all the pussy and the unshaved muff. Bring your flabby ass back, that'll be enough. You and I are going pretty rough. Summers in Kentucky, man, I miss that stuff.
Beautiful boys. All right, everybody. Come on, clap for us. Yes. Welcome, everybody, to Live from the Dutch Hall. We are Canada's only late-night talk show and the greatest podcast ever to come out of a pool shed in Pine Grove, Ontario. Bar none, I would say. And I think we are that way because we have the greatest band in podcast history and also the greatest band in Canadian late-night history, the Nocturnal Emissions.
Yeah. All right.
This week they're comprised of our good friend Aaron Allen on rhythm and vocals,
Hey, Aaron. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Michael Bowe, our band leader, playing rhythm and harmony.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Beside him is our good friend Steve reluctant German.
Hi, Willie.
Stevie!
And of course, playing the ball to the nocturnal emission as always is our great friend Whiskey Wes Hagens, everyone.
Hey!
Yeah.
And as per CRTC rules, to be Canada's only late night talk show, you have to have so much French-Canadian content. And we have that on the drums today. Our French tickler, Kev Belanger.
Hey!
Oui, oui, oui. C'est bon.
You know, no show's complete without a super fan, and today's a very special one. Not only is she one of our greatest super fans ever, but it's also her birthday. And she also happens to be one of my favorite people in the world. Lori Ball is here, everyone. Let's hear it for her.
Happy birthday, Lori!
And running the board today, our director, my brother, our bus driver, our former bartender, Paul Van Dyke is here, everyone.
Yeah.
And who else is here, Paul?
Now introducing your host from live from the Dutch Hall. Two-time President's Club Award winner, Pete Van Dyke.
Hey!
Hey, Big Paul.
Yeah!
Would you turn this thing right down now?
2 times, Peter.
Yeah.
2 times.
Two-time.
What is the important part is 2 times. The important part is 2 times. Because those didn't come easy. Those 2-time President's Club Awards. I'll tell you that right now.
That doesn't just happen.
No, it doesn't just happen. That's a lot of hard work and dedication for 2 crystal trophies that sit right beside Dave's mustache, and they're held in exactly the same regard as Dave's mustache in a jar. Anyways, welcome to Live from the Dutch Hall.
Hey!
As I said, we got a great show tonight.
Hell
We got
yeah.
it's a super fan birthday party, which is always exciting when we can mix a birthday in with the Live from the Dutch Hall night, because we're always going to have a good time, right, Lori?
Always a good time.
And you have been with us since the very beginning. You listen to every episode.
You got it.
Oh, really?
Really, every single episode.
You got it.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, I don't want to give any spoilers away for the show, but I'll tell you, this is to get people to listen further on. We got live feedback from a real super fan coming at this show. Oh, did you hear that?
Whoa. What, you
That
want
was-
me to read what I wrote you today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to look it up on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'll just tell you.
Okay, cool. And we also have Aaron Allen, which is this guy, Aaron Allen's here tonight, and this guy's been on the show multiple times in many different shapes and forms. He's like a Renaissance man, Aaron Allen, a real Renaissance man.
I guess so.
Because you're not just a musician, Aaron Allen.
No,
You've also dabbled in comedy.
a little bit.
You've been sketch comedy. You've been part of the
Oh, yeah.
Pop and Chip Party. You can't deny that.
I forgot about that.
That's what I mean. You forget about a project that for most other people would be a big deal,
Yeah.
right? But you just forget about it because you draw on people's bodies. That's the visual arts,
That's how I pay the mortgage.
Right.
Yeah, not with anything else. No.
yeah. But I'm saying everything you do is stuff that you don't hate.
No, I don't hate any of it. I hate music a lot, though. I hate music a lot.
Really,
Yeah.
music's the most like work for you.
Music is the thing that I hate the most. Yeah.
Really?
I love it, but I hate it as well. Yeah.
What's the part that drives you crazy about it?
I've just been doing it 15 years, and it's, when you make records, you go into the hole all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you do these passion projects, and I feel like one of these days my wife's just going to fucking leave me. I'm sick of this shit, but she never does. I don't know what's wrong with her.
Yes, I know. That is a big part of it. I agree with that 100% because my wife as well.
Yeah.
I used to have a real job, like a real actual job, like which would pay bills and feed children,
Yeah.
put roofs over heads, that sort of thing.
They like when you have that.
Yeah. I had it for a long time. I was a provider, like I brought home the bacon. 2-time President's Club award winner. For fuck's sakes,
I don't have any awards.
No.
No.
But did you ever do something you hate?
Yeah. I worked. The worst job I ever had was working in a turkey factory. I did that for 4 years.
Oh.
What,
Killed turkeys.
You killed them.
Well, I did not kill them, but
No.
when
You-
I worked in the factory where they were killed, but I didn't literally cut their necks off.
No, you didn't. But you
No.
contributed to their death.
Yeah, they definitely. Yeah.
You didn't
I
help
was-
save them.
No, but I'm a vegetarian now, so I feel
Really?
like
Because of that
because of
experience?
that factory.
Really?
Yeah.
What about it? Because I look at food because I'm a farm kid or whatever. I know that everything I eat as far as meat is concerned has been murdered in some sort, and I don't care at all. Like it has no impact on me. I don't give a shit if chickens are shitting on top of each other in cages and suffering. They're chickens, you know, like they're meant to be eaten by us. We're like controlling them. Would I prefer they're riding around in a field or whatever, like with their friends having a good time?
Free ride.
Free range or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I would eat that too.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm gonna kill that thing and eat it, right? Like I mean, that's just the farmer in me. Like I can't get the sympathy for the animal that I've raised to eat. You know, of course, you like the cow or whatever that hangs out and shows some personality in your backyard, but you're still gonna kill them at Christmas time and put them in the freezer. You know?
I couldn't kill him. I couldn't kill him anymore.
You couldn't do it.
No, couldn't do it.
I had a buddy of mine that was a farm guy. And he bought a pig. He ended up working in the bank with me or whatever. And then, but he still bought like a farm property. So he had like a pig. So his kid knew that like where his bacon came from or whatever. And they called the pig Tony. And then they would feed Tony every day. And then all of a sudden they fucking murdered Tony. You know.
Poor Tony.
Yeah.
That ain't right.
Tony's in the freezer. And then they ate Tony for Christmas. You know?
Tony Baloney.
Yeah.
He tastes great.
Yeah. Tony. Poor Tony, eh? But meat is so delicious.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bologna, fried bologna sandwiches were good. And
Oh, it's just the salt in it is so delicious, right?
Yeah.
So you gave up meat. How long have you been a vegetarian for?
about 12 years.
And do you eat like things that look like meat then, like tofu bacon or something?
I don't really like the tofu stuff. I'll eat a veggie burger or something,
But but once in a while kind of thing.
once in a while, I don't really eat frozen processed food.
So what do you eat normally? How do you get your protein?
I'm really protein deficient. I have shakes and stuff, but I'm not very healthy. Like people think vegetarians are healthy. I'm probably not that healthy. I don't like vegetables either.
Really?
Yeah.
So what do you eat? Bread?
Like carbs. I eat a lot of carbs.
Oh,
yeah.
that's not right.
No, that's not right.
Yeah, I know a person. I'm not going to say too many specific things because I don't want to embarrass her. But she was a vegetarian, but she was a big lady.
Yeah.
And she ate vegetarian pizza all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
I ate a lot of pizza.
Yeah, and then so she was huge, but she just ate carbs all day long.
Yeah.
You know? Like you think vegetarians would be like healthy, but
No.
sometimes they can just like be like fat slobs like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very fat.
Yeah. Do you ever think that like you ever see like a person like in Toronto? I always think of the city people in particular, and they're like in a kitchen, right?
Yeah.
They're like, or they have a kitchen in their house or whatever, but they don't use it. Now they're even making apartments in Toronto with no kitchens at all, right? Because
No
people
way.
don't use them, right? Yeah, they don't use a kitchen, and they brag about it. Like I see the people on the news. I might have talked to them on the show before, but I saw this lady. I did, right? But it drives me crazy. The lady who's on the news is like, the person's making a fucking sandwich, right? She's bragging about the chef making a sandwich. She can't figure out. Because she's never done anything like it before in her life. She doesn't. They go, do you have Worcester sauce in your town? I don't know. She's never been to a grocery store. They just order out every night.
Really?
The people that live in these cities, and they think of themselves as being more evolved, but they can't do the basic function of feed their face. Do you know
It's
what I
more
mean?
pretentious. They're from Toronto, so you're going to deal with that.
But they think that that's like more like sophisticated to not be able to feed yourself. Like you got to make a soup. You got to put some bones in a fucking.
That's just ignorance.
Yeah.
If you feel that you're better for not having to cook your food, that's just ignorant.
I can't. That drives me crazy, man.
I can't say
Yeah.
I've ever met. I know a lot of people in Toronto, but I can't say I've ever met anybody who can't cook their food. And doesn't cook their food either.
It's a certain kind of person, you know. And I don't even think it's
Downtown in those high rise.
yeah, it's
20,000 a month.
and
plus.
and they're probably not Toronto people. They're probably people that immigrated to Toronto from some shit town like mine. And no, I love my town, by the way. I'm not saying shit town in a disparaging way, but I love my town. But you know what I mean? A small little town. Then they go to Toronto and they think they're fancy shit because they went to Toronto. The real Toronto people are like small town people. They're just like little communities of people that grew up there, and you know those people are kind of cool. It's the ones that go in there and they have this pretentiousness of the fact that they've accomplished something just by moving to a big city, and then they end up like becoming in this whole prison of whatever the city is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a box and a box and a box. They just like go to work in a box and they come home in a box and then and all these guys got to work and they get food credits if they stay at work, so then they don't have to cook. But if they work late, they get a food credit so they can eat. because it's so expensive to live in the city.
Really?
Yeah, my buddy lived
I've
in
never heard of that.
My buddy lived in New York. He was in a law firm, like by all accounts, a rich guy.
Yeah.
You know, because he makes a big living. But in order to buy his apartment and like, Paul, shut your mic off. I can't listen to that the whole show. I'll listen to part of the show, but not the whole show. Hey, make sure you put it back on for commercials, eh, Paul? Have a nice nap until the feedback.
He fell asleep during your story about.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
About Toronto.
About Toronto. Yeah,
No,
anyways.
this one was about New York.
Little boxes.
No, he was in New York, and he was like a lawyer. He made a lot of money and stuff, and he was like, but he had to stay. Like he worked. If he worked late, he got a meal credit, and he would be able to go and eat for free. So he's like, he lived in New York for like 2 years. He used his kitchen once
Why do you need that free voucher when you're a fucking lawyer?
because it was so expensive to live there that even that big paycheck he got was still tough to cover the cost of being like wearing a $3,000 suit and playing the part of a big shot New York guy.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like once you decide to play that part, you got to like follow it the whole way through.
You got to do it.
And it's like it's really expensive and it doesn't make sense. It's a lot of wasted money on bull crap, you know?
Yeah.
In my opinion. But
Oh, for sure.
But a friend of mine was a big shot in Toronto, still is, and he crunched the numbers and realized that it was cheaper to hire a professional cook to show up at the beginning of every week with meals for the whole week, for the whole family, all the lunches. So he and his wife don't have to make lunches for their kids. They come home, they go to the Monday.
cheaper than what?
Cheaper than when you factored in all the time it takes to go grocery shopping and to prepare the food and to cook everything. Crunched the numbers and found that it was cheaper to hire somebody else who could come in.
I'm going to
and
call
do it.
bullshit on that whole thing because there's no way you can't get a fucking bunch of bones from a butcher shop and a carrot and celery and onion put in a pot. You know, that's a fucking soup, man. It costs you nothing. It's delicious, right? It's delicious. You serve for a week to your family. I'm kind of rich. Like, I'm kind of rich, and I still eat like that. You want to know why? Because it's delicious, and it's cheap as shit. And you buy the cheapest cuts of meat, and you cook them all day, and they're cheap as.
Good for you.
It's the best thing in the world. It's delicious, right? But you don't. But even if you're a vegetarian, just buy real food that looks like food,
Yeah.
and don't fucking like get it in a box that says it's that food, but in a different form. Like, just get it.
No, I don't eat that.
Like food that looks like that is food. You know.
Yeah, real food. I
Yeah.
eat broccoli sometimes, but I'm not a vegetable fan.
And even frozen stuff is better than like canned or anything like that. Like get frozen because it's the same. It's fresh. It's actually frozen. It's in its ripest form, so it's actually frozen is not bad, but don't get canned ever.
No.
You know why? Because they make everyone fat. Why are the poor people fat and the rich people skinny? That doesn't make any sense.
Poor people's food is delicious, though.
Right.
Like, they got the
Yeah.
best food.
But
Yeah.
it'll kill you.
Yeah.
That's why.
What are they doing? Like, why they allow us to like have like 8 aisles of fucking food that's marketed towards like
Population
dying?
control.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to kill us on purpose. They make all these bright colored packages of beautiful stuff, and it's delicious, but it's all full of sugar and salt and all this stuff that kills us. But we still buy it because it's on the lower shelf. If you want the healthy stuff, it's on the top shelf. It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, they don't want you to buy the good stuff. Even the organic aisle, like most cheap people stay away from it because why am I going to pay more for this shit, right? It's a banana. It's inside the peel. I don't care if it's organic or not organic. It's inside the peel, right? They spray whatever they want on it.
stuff's
I've
not
eaten the
getting
inside.
in.
Bad stuff's not getting in. That's what I think.
But at the grocery store, you have to stay to the outside aisles. You can't go into the aisles. That's where all the poison is, right? Like
Yeah, stay in
the
the-
fruits and the vegetables are on the outside, and the coolers are in the back somewhere. So,
And the rest of it's all
and the
crap.
rest of it's all crap.
Yeah, like a whole grocery store, like 80% of it's crap.
Yes.
And most people are eating it, and they're dying of diabetes and fucking heart disease and all this shit, and it's costing us all money, but we still let these big corporations. I don't know how I got on for this, but like, but it's a true point. They let all these guys like feed us this shit, and then like most people don't know any better, are just like getting sick, and we all pay for it, right?
That's right.
Anyways, it's not funny, but it is like Makes me mad a lot.
Can't
You
tell.
just sit around and get pissed off about this shit.
Yeah, like why don't they make it easy for people to be healthy? Like, you know, we've got fields of corn, but a human can't fucking process corn and make everything into corn syrup, and we can't even like digest it. And then, but they could put all that same land into something we could actually eat. Then we would have a lot more shit we could eat.
That's right.
Right? Just switch out the shit that's killing us with stuff that's not going to kill us. What's the big deal?
Couple bones,
Sounds
you
like
got
a
some
good
soup.
plan.
and
Then I
we're
don't
all
have to
healthy.
die. Like, it's just an easy thing. But most people don't. Like you know better, Aaron, right? So you go to like, you like eat like good real food, right? That's what
Yeah,
you're saying.
we eat organic and everything's organic.
Something that looks like a vegetable or like a. Well, you like pizza, right? But like your wife probably eats right.
Yeah, she makes me healthy stuff. We eat pizza once a week, but sometimes
But she'll
twice.
make you stuff that'll actually like make you live longer.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
she cares for you and
She
loves
makes me eat it, yeah.
you. Yeah.
I just eat it out of necessity. But all the organic stuff is like, it's rotten before I even get it home. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah, that is
Like,
true.
I pay $3 for an avocado and it's rotten when I cut into it.
Yeah, you have to.
All the organic stuff.
Yeah, it is true, and that's why a lot of times you can actually get deals on it because they're trying to move it because no one's buying it because it's too expensive, and then they end up like dropping the price to move some rotten shit on you, right? But get this solution, make it the same fucking price, right? Because the guys that are selling it don't give a shit, and then even the guys that are say you only buy the stuff that's not going to kill you, and then sell that for the right price that the market will pay, and then don't sell the stuff that's going to kill you. That's what I say.
Seems logical.
Yeah.
But what are the farmers doing? I don't know why it costs so much.
You know what
to
it
get...
is? This is my thing about the farmers. Right?
Yeah.
The farmers got, like in Canada, for example, they'll tell you that you have to have like you can't use certain chemicals, right, Michael? They'll tell you can't use certain chemicals because they're not approved in Canada.
Correct.
They'll say you can't use these chemicals on your, even though they're going to make a lot more money, you get a lot more like yield, and it'll be cheaper for you, and all this stuff. But it's not approved in Canada. It's approved in the States. It's approved in China. It's approved in Brazil, wherever it's approved, right? Mexico. It's approved everywhere. But then they say we're protecting our consumers from the shit because that's why they don't let the farmers use it, because they're protecting the consumers from using this bad stuff that's not proven yet. And yet they let in all the shit from Mexico, all the shit from the States, all the shit from everywhere else that's got the stuff they won't let our own farmers use. So we got to compete with this product now with our, you know, I say we as though I'm a farmer, but the farmer has to compete with like now the Mexicans or the Americans who don't have the same rules that we have. So you're not protecting the consumer because the consumer's buying the cheaper thing that they got to use the poisonous product on that you don't think is safe for us. But you don't protect us from it because you buy it from them anyways. So you're just punishing your own farmers.
Right.
That's what I say. So I don't blame the farmer. The farmer's going to take every advantage that's given to him. The playing field, if you want to do it, you got to do it for everybody, you know, which they'll never do because nobody else gives a shit. We give a shit more about people in Canada than they do anywhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And so we're going to be the last to give our guys a break, you know. Well, I think they should at least, if you're going to protect us, then don't let in strawberries in the wintertime from shit countries that are putting DDT on it or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
You wonder why they're available.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Because they can use all the chemicals to keep the bugs and the weeds down. Oh, yeah, they're great. Yielding great down there. We can't do it here.
No, you get fucking...
Our farmers struggle with it, and then they don't get the yield, and what do you do?
Yeah, and they say I always think about blue mold. They always had stuff for blue mold for tobacco because that's what I grew up in, tobacco. And you'd see the blue mold come through the States, and they could spray it with some shit that would kill it, and then it would still come up to Canada, and then we couldn't spray it, so we would just lose our crop.
I think it's constant, and no matter what farm, like what crop you're in. I mean, pre-approved stuff is like 2 years ahead of us in the States, pre-approved. Meanwhile, like, we should be using this stuff too, because 2 years later, now we can use, it's okay now. But 2 years ago,
it wasn't.
But the States have already been using it. So,
so 2 years they had a fucking advantage over us, and then you think that's cool.
It's just
know?
typical
But it's
Canadian legislation where we're 2 years behind.
Yeah, don't you think you would help out a lot more if you said, can we just shorten it so we're shorter than the other countries so that our guys can have it first?
That'd be too easy.
We could have an advantage, you know? But no, it's bureaucracy upon bureaucracy because our government, I don't know how I got in this again, but But I do believe that they just tie it up in shit that they think is like important to them because they have to preserve their own jobs. But they're not looking for what's best for everybody. They're just looking to preserve their own jobs.
Yeah.
Right. They're these like egotistical assholes.
Oh yeah.
Like just you're supposed to be a public servant. Like serve the public. Like you're supposed to
Help us.
You know,
I think
not
you should
hurt us.
run.
Tire hands.
But
Run for office.
if I ran for office, I would
Yeah.
have to work with all those people I hate.
Yeah, that's true.
So then it would be like eventually you'd see me on the news a lot, like strangling Kathleen Wynne. You know, it'd be like, I'm sorry.
Probably get a few cheers, actually.
Green
Yeah.
Party's looking for people right now.
Really, Green Party? I think if I strangled
You could go for
Kathleen,
Norfolk Council first.
I don't care enough for Norfolk.
I was going to say three
Council.
councilors are stepping down.
Who? Why?
They're done. They're just
Just old?
yeah.
They're old.
I don't know. It's like the thing about running for Norfolk Council is that that's even like worse, isn't it? Like, isn't it a bunch of old way of thinking and stuff that you have to get past?
For sure. I just
How do we
wasn't sure
change
if that was your first step.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
And then
they pay like shit to be in politics, right?
In Norfolk County, sure they do.
Yeah. You'd be the mayor, you don't get much money. You got to be like a retired person
Yeah.
to do that job.
What
right?
up, Charlie?
That's why they get all the kinds of. Yeah, Charlie doesn't listen to our show, but you know who does? Dennis Trevally,
Oh, there you go.
former mayor of Norfolk County, is an avid listener of our show. So,
I've seen him with the medal on.
yeah,
There you go.
Whatever that
that
mayor
guy
thing
supports
is.
us.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a challenge out to Charlie Luke. Charlie Luke, you want to prove you're as good as Dennis Trevally? Maybe you support our show a little bit.
Oh.
Motherfucker.
Open invite for Charlie Lou.
Come on, Chucky.
I'm not saying I support or not support Charlie Luke. I'm not going to make a political stand because I've never made my political views known. I don't support any party. I'm my own man.
The Pete Party.
Yeah, the Pete Party. That's the only party I'd run for at this point in time because all the rest of them I disagree with. Because every person has their own mind. They don't always agree with what a platform would be. So I think as a person, if you're running, you should be able to say what you think or what you're going to do. But you can't. You got to say what the party thinks. And then I don't agree with anything that a party thinks, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the whole point? You should be a like open thinker. Like when you're trying to do something, you do it right. The Pete Party. Yeah.
You're never going to make it anywhere if you're thinking for yourself.
That's right. You're never going to make it in politics, especially because those fuckers don't care.
Yeah.
They want to preserve themselves, right? So I'll go there and say, like, I want to do what's right. I'd last about a second. No one would vote for me.
Yeah.
Like, especially me. And they would, right? My wife understands. No one would vote for me. I'm not likable. Even if I called you on the phone to say, like, I'm Pete Van Dyke, I'm running your party, people would be like, ugh. You're like, why are you so, like, I don't want the angry guy that showed up at my doorstep, made my kids uncomfortable. Yeah. It would be me. I'd get my own vote. Even my wife wouldn't vote for me. You'd vote for me, wouldn't you? Yeah, because my wife believes in me. I have a wife like yours, Aaron. She's, like, incredible. I don't know why. I was just getting on that at the beginning. I said I had a real job, and then I gave it all up, and now I tell dick jokes. And she actually supports every minute of it.
I don't know what's
Like a
wrong with them.
weirdo.
Why?
Start your
Why do you do this? Stop us.
Yeah, why can't you
We're
stop it?
morons.
Yeah, we're making the wrong decision. Why can't you see that?
It's terrible.
Yeah. Your love and support is only not teaching. It's only, like, encouraging us, you know?
Make me go to work.
You know, we're getting real late. We were talking about too much bullshit, but we have to do a segment called Feedback. We got feedback.
We got feedback. It's feedback. It's motherfucking feedback.
That ended weird.
Sure did.
Yeah. Welcome to Feedback. We got feedback. This week's feedback is brought to you. Paul, get a one shot on this. It's brought to you by this one right here. Can you get a one shot, Paul? On me here? This one?
Down, yep.
Oh,
Oh, wait. I got to get this out. It's brought to you by.
it's not awkward.
Oh, it's so bad. Aaron Allen and the Small City Saints. It's their new album. It's called A Judgment Day. And this is what I forgot to promote at the beginning of the show. It's going to be released on April 27th, is it?
That's right, yeah.
April 27th. They're having a big release party in London. And I think if you're in the London area, you should go out and support Aaron because this is a real artist in your community, and you should support him because he's doing great work. And if you're not paying attention, you might miss it.
It's true. I'm
Right?
going to retire at any time.
And where are you playing? Where's the album release party?
Aeolian Hall.
The Aeolian
in
Hall
London, yeah.
in London. So go check it out, April 27th. It's going to be a great time. And a lot of great music. So Judgment Day. And thanks, he gave me the CD, too, and the T-shirt.
That's cool as shit.
Which is a medium and shows off my muscles. So thank you very much. And our show is also brought to you by Amazon. If you go to the Live from the Dutch Hall website, livefromthedutchhall.com, and you click on either of our Amazon banners, and if you don't see them, shut off your ad blocker. They're there. And then you click on those, you do your Amazon shopping, boom, we get money, and the show gets better. That's how it works.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching, do it. And you know who else this show's brought by?
Do it.
Van Dyke Party Services.
No way.
Oh, do it.
Yeah, we're coming into the springtime. You know what? Spring cleaning.
Yes, the flowers.
Yes, flowers grow.
Tulips.
Sometimes I plant tulips
Yes,
around
sir.
my pool.
We're in the greenhouse.
What is?
Yes, the greenhouses are starting to be prepared.
Showing the greenhouses.
And then a lot of times what you're saying is like spring cleaning, this isn't fun. I don't want to do my spring chores. I don't want to clean up the yard. I want to do all those things. You know what you can do to make the day go faster?
What's that?
You can give us an email at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com and hire Van Dyke Party Services. What we will do is send you between 5 and 29 Van Dyke First Cousins in bright yellow jackets. And I'll tell you, your spring cleaning is going to be the time of your life. You're never going to have more fun. And all it's going to cost you is $100 of cold hard cash, plus all of our expenses, which will be very dear.
Oh, yes.
And we're doing no fucking cleaning.
Just the windows.
You're going to have a great time. And if you're not 100% satisfied, we're going to return that $100. No questions asked. But those expenses have run through our bodies and potentially yours. Van Dyke Party Services,
Don't live your life in regret.
brought to you by Clean Flow.
Oh, yes. Clean
Yeah.
Flow.
And Clean Flow, let's just say Dave Charters is, again, not here. We have not mentioned it because it's a bit of a sore spot for the show.
Fuck you, Charters.
Charters is he's a diva, he's a piece of shit, and everyone knows it. And the guy likes to pretend that this show is all about him. He makes demands week after week, and some weeks I like to toy with him because I know that the crowd enjoys hating him, right? But some weeks I'm like, fuck you, Charters. Stay home. Stay home and think about what you've done. We got Aaron Allen here to replace you, and he's doing a way better job. And you should think about what you've done and realize how easily you can be replaced, right? So anyways, Dave Charters, I don't know how I got on that. Was that something to do with Clean Flow? Oh, I think he's avoiding Matty O's request for Charters to do his commercials week after week. They gave us real money, like cash money, to do the show. Clean Flow did. And Charters had a ready commercial just one every week.
He can't handle the pressure.
You know how much he did? Zero.
Dick.
Yeah.
0.0.
I think he did one product review.
Yeah, he did. And the one time, remember when he stuffed that can of honey goo up his ass by accident?
Yeah, he used it the wrong way.
Yeah. That was the only two things he did. Was one time he did a commercial, and the other time he stuck a can of honey goo up his ass, and his wife had to get it out with a pair of salad tongs or something. Remember that?
That'll do it.
Those are the two things he did. That's
Well,
it.
maybe he did it again,
2 times.
and that's why he's not here today.
He gave me a real shifty response. He just said, "I'm not going to be there. I got something going on." He was just like really shady about it. So he's probably giving it another date night with an old can of honey goo.
Polish shapeshifter.
Yeah. So who else do we got? That? Oh, you know what else we have to mention? Our other sponsor, which is Norpac. Oh, turn your mic on, asshole! I said Norpac.
The beef people.
That's right,
There you go.
because that's your job. Is you when I say Norpac?
You say the beef people.
Thank you.
No,
Paul.
you say the beef people.
Thank you. Which brings us into our first piece of feedback, which is actually from a listener that we have not heard from before. He sent us some feedback on live from the Dutch Hall gmail.com. It's Sean Dalster.
Oh, Sean.
Yeah, Sean Dalster. He says, "Attention, Mr. Peter Van Dyke and the Live from the Dutch Hall crew.
Hey, that's us.
Sounds serious.
Very professional and respectful. Over the past month or so, I have noticed Mr. Paul Van Dyke, again respectful to you, Paul,
Mister.
Mr. Paul Van Dyke, has been given the new title director, and you have dropped his title as bartender. So you can take this as my application to fill his extremely valuable position."
Oh,
Oh.
challenge.
I don't claim, not challenge. He's saying Paul's no longer the bartender, and then therefore it leaves an open slot on the show.
Correct.
So you can take this as my application to fill his extremely valuable position. I don't claim to be a super fan, but I am a new huge fan.
All right.
was if you are a new huge fan, that you can be a super fan. That doesn't exclude you. You don't have to listen to them all like Lori. We just like Lori more.
Yeah, you do. You just have some catching up to do.
Right. You're not going to beat her in a super fan challenge, as Manny Fajo found out. His ass was whipped cleanly, like it wasn't even close.
And I'll do it again, Manny.
Well, yeah, we might have to have another one.
Whoa.
Anytime.
You know who might get you is Bonesy. He's never missed one.
Bonesy.
Whoa.
That's what he said.
Well, hey.
Bring it on.
There's a
Bring
few
it
out
on,
there's a
Bonesy. Come on, let's go.
there's a few people out there that have been like you, that have been since the beginning every show.
Wow.
Yeah, and they've heard Paul breathe the whole time.
It's his fucking mind.
Mike is weird.
As most of you know, I'm a Norfolk boy with a wife and 2 kids, and I'm looking for one night a week to get the fuck out of the house.
Bingo.
Oh,
Ding,
listed
ding, ding.
below are a few of my key credentials to take into consideration. Number 1, he's a Norfolk resident, which is not necessary, as we proved by the French tickler.
That's right.
The tickler is
Oxford.
from Oxford,
Quebec.
He's in.
Oxford, Quebec.
Tickle his way in there.
And so, but it does help. It does help when you're from Norfolk.
Yes.
You don't have to rinse them off before they come in to get the manure smell off them.
or those Heldman folk.
Yeah. He does smoke darts, he says,
Perfect.
which is good. Drink beer. He can use the word cunt in any conversation,
Whoa. Wow.
which is very helpful
That's
to replace
impressive.
you, right? And he has a smart serve course, which really, he says, but who the fuck cares? But I'm saying, you know what? It might be helpful if we actually got our shit together, right?
Less pukes.
Yeah, so keep up the great entertainment. Cheers, Sean Dulster.
What an
All right.
application.
Yeah, that is a great application.
Outstanding.
You know, it's so good.
Very formal.
It's so good. Sean Dulster, you're a listener of the week.
He's
No
a
way.
listener of the week. This is his week. It's your week, Sean.
It's your week.
What
Sean.
an application.
Oh, yeah. He really impressed us with his first
Amazing.
try. He really impressed us. This is another guy. He's not a first time guy, but this is the first time I got an email at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com. And this is Chris Unwin.
Ooh, Englewood.
You know Chris Unwin?
My boy.
Yeah, he's a former listener of the week and also a shareholder of the show because he donated the cowbell.
He did.
Right?
No way.
The
Yep.
cowbell. So he donated the cowbell, so we have to call him we're calling him a shareholder. And he says, "Hey Pete, this is Chris Unwin. I wanted to say thank you for the shareholder title and the listener of the week.
Hey.
Big fan of what you guys are doing. Just thought I'd maybe throw a couple song ideas for the boys to try, which we have asked from time to time.
We have.
So number 1, let me know what you think about this, guys.
All right.
SOB by Daniel Raycliffe. You know that one?
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
It's a good one.
Get me a drink.
It's a good one.
Yeah, maybe. So
I think it's hitting all the boxes.
okay, we
Sounds
got
like
it.
it's in.
Number 2, Wagon Wheel Old Crow Medicine Show.
Wow, wow, wow.
Now this is where we get into country music, right? Is this where we get
It's a
into country?
popular one.
It's a popular song. Now is this Brown Eyed Girl kind of thing? Is this like too popular? So now you guys are like, you know,
It's sort of like Brown Eyed Girl and Hootie and the Blowfish. Even though, the song was mostly written by Bob Dylan. So,
was it really?
yeah.
That song was written by Bob Dylan.
He wrote the chorus, and then Old Crow Medicine Show wrote the
But
lyrics
Hootie
or
got the
something.
biggest. Hootie got the biggest hit out of it versus Old Crow Medicine Show, right?
That's right.
The only reason that Chris probably says Old Crow Medicine Show is because he went to that concert in Simcoe with the Mumford and Sons, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And Old Crow was there, and they played that song, which was theirs, and that's the only reason we know that.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
And then, but otherwise it would be because of Hootie.
Yes.
Or the Blowfish. Which one is he? Is he the Blowfish?
No, he's just Hootie.
Is he the
Is
Hootie?
he Hootie?
He has a real name.
Darius.
No, I
There
thought
you
the
go.
band was
Darius
Hootie.
Hootie.
Darius Ruckers or something.
Something like that. Who gives a fuckers?
But I think he's the Blowfish, actually. I don't think he's Hootie.
He blows all right.
He's the second black cowboy since Charlie Pride. So get off his back.
Breaking barriers.
Breaking barriers. Right? Charlie Pride was a real. Do you know Charlie Pride, Aaron?
I don't know Charlie Pride.
You don't know Charlie Pride? Oh, look him up.
Here we go.
He was like a old school, like Conway Twitty era
Yeah.
country music, you know.
Fully black?
Yeah, black guy, like a real black guy, just country music out of nowhere, and you're like, "Where's this black?" And he'd come to Simcoe too all the time and perform.
Nice.
Yeah, Charlie Pride.
All right, I'll look him up.
He's no Django.
That's what that movie
Man.
is based off of.
Yeah, that's right.
Charlie Pride, the only black cowboy.
Django Unchained.
Django Unchained.
I only know that because
The Charlie Pride story.
I think my parents had a Charlie Pride record,
Sure they did.
and I remember thinking this is got black guys with a cowboy hat singing country music. I never heard of such a thing, you know. But anyways, Charlie Pride, look him up. We have to check with our cheese lady.
Oh, no way. We know how to do that.
Yeah, we have to check with our cheese lady.
Feel free to sing along, Paul.
Cause we're chicken on the cheese lady, on the cheese lady, chicken on the cheese lady, always having fun. Chicken on the cheese lady, on the cheese lady, chicken on the cheese lady, always on the run. Chicken on the cheese lady, on the cheese lady, chicken on the cheese lady, she's always having fun. Chicken on the cheese lady, on the cheese lady, chicken on the cheese lady. Let's hear what she's done.
Well,
Let's hear what she's done.
you know what? The cheese lady's fastly taking the place of the Haitian dwarf as our most consistent member of her. What do you call it?
Feedback.
Yeah. Oh, Lori has the power. Lori has the power.
The power.
That is birthday power because normally it's only me that shares that power, Lori. That is a.
Feedback.
Oh! This is birthday power, and it's.
love it.
You feel good? You feel
love
different?
it.
You're standing up. You
Love it.
you sitting.
I can't wait until I say my feedback.
I can't believe it. But first, we have to get the cheese lady, Lori.
I know. Cheese lady.
Cheese lady says this. She says, "I need to bring you guys a cheese tray for being so awesome.
Sure.
Sounds great.
Just let me know when you want a treat." And cheese lady, you know what? I'm going to tell you this because your piece of feedback was not only like generous and kind, but it was also infuriating. Because you know goddamn well we like cheese every week.
Anytime.
We like cheese. We have a cheese tray literally every week at the end. We have cheese, meat, pickles, and cracker.
And perhaps an olive.
Sometimes an olive or a pickled beet.
A chocolate nut of some sort.
It's called a Dutch Hall cheese tray, and it's become a staple here. And what we're counting on is Norpac. The beef people. They're going to give us our meat, and maybe the second most in Delhi will give us their cheese, and we need a pickle person.
Yeah.
So we are still looking for a pickle person, and if you make a nice cracker, we're willing to talk. Make something like a Ritz, and give us an email, lifeinthedutchhall@gmail.com. Cheese lady, bring the cheese. Anytime, any place, we're going to eat the fuck out of that cheese.
Sure will.
Yeah. Thank you for all your support. So that's it for feedback.
I thought live feedback.
Oh, shit. I forgot live feedback, and we got one sponsor. This week's live feedback is brought to you by our friends at Yarmy Electric. He said it. Kevin doesn't have the power. He's a Frenchman.
There were so many.
Anyway.
Just giving it away.
You're giving it away. It was supposed to be special for Lori. Now you're giving it to the tickler?
Feedback.
Anyways, this week's live feedback is brought to you by our friends at Yarmy Electric. Yarmy Electric, we've told you week after week, and we're going to tell you one last time. Stop calling my cousin Derek. He's busy. He has lots of children. He's a member. He supports the community. He puts out your fires. What more do you want from this fucking guy? I don't care that you feel like your house may be in danger of burning down. It's not my cousin Derek's problem. He's got a busy business, and he doesn't need your fucking problems to add on to his already busy life.
It's greenhouse season.
There's lots to do, and it doesn't involve you and your family's safety.
That's right.
He's a fireman, for fuck's sakes. If your house burns down, come put it out. What more do you want from him? Yarmy Electric, if we don't get it right the first time, we'll get it right the second time. And if we don't get it right the second time...
You can go fuck yourself.
Also brought to you by Clean Flow. I'm going to give that one a Clean Flow as well.
Sure, why not?
Thanks, Clean Flow.
And this week, for the very first time ever, we have a super fan in studio on the birthday, and she's giving a piece of live feedback for last week's show, which is called... what was the last week's show called?
It was Go Gadget Dick.
Go Gadget Dick. What did you think of it?
I can tell you who was there.
Yeah, who was it?
It was all the comedians.
Joe. It was...
It was all the comedians.
Looked like Lori's going to
And you know
puke
what?
there.
The comedians like to talk over each other.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But
Joe does.
Joe.
Let's. I'd have to have a talk with Joe.
Joe's hard to listen to, really.
He was supposed to be the co-host of the show. He didn't look at me the whole show.
You know what? So I felt like last week was kind of like the New Limburg night, where Jeff and I were there, and the people walked out because of all the dick jokes.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. You guys were talking too much about circumcision and stuff. Like I was like losing my mind. I was like, okay, get off this fucking topic.
Did you think it was interesting the stuff we talked about? The Muslims wash their butt with like a water bottle.
That was fine. That was different. Yeah. Once I got on the circumcision and dick stuff, it was like too much of that. Like it just. And Joe,
I literally found that out that day that Muslims wash their ass with a water can.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't know that.
You did a lot of research. I also said that you'd be happy though that even though it was driving me crazy, I still listened through the whole thing because I was hoping that we would get off that topic. It just stayed there a while.
Yeah. It was meant to talk about their show.
Yeah. So the roast thing, I think the roast thing is an awesome idea.
Right.
Brother sister roast. If it was you and me, I'm not in. I'm not roasting you.
But I'm a comic, though.
I know.
So I don't think I'd be allowed to because I'm a comic.
Oh, it's just people? They don't want comics to it?
I think they want people, like regular people, and the comics comment on it. Like it would be you and Paul roasting each other.
See,
and then I would be in the comics booth, like giving my critique.
I
of
was
it.
thinking that I would like to see you and Paul up there roast because it would be fun, and then Lisa and I would be in the crowd.
Well, Paul would have to compete against the guy who's a comedian, so I would kill him.
I don't know. I think there's lots of things that Paul could say to roast you. So
what's about me? What would you roast me about? Because I'm curious. Because I know what all the comics would roast me about. It's clear. But I don't know what you would roast me about because you're my sister.
I didn't say I would roast you. I said Pete. Paul
No, well, even Paul. What would he roast me about? Because I don't know. It'd be different. Because you know what the comics would roast me about? The fact that I mooch off my wife.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's all they make fun of me about.
I'm sure Paul could do that too. But the thing.
You'd also use that.
You'd also use that because that's a good one. That really cuts me deep. Yeah. I shouldn't have actually let people know that one because it does hurt me.
Yeah. But anyway, if that was the case, if you guys were roasting each other, then Lisa and I would sit in the front row and we'd watch that and probably enjoy it.
Would you watch the whole fight, even as it broke down at the end, where
for sure
Paul was saying, "Stop choking me"?
People watch it. Yeah. People watch a train wreck, right?
Quit hitting me! Quit hitting me!
You wouldn't have to hit me more than once, Paul. Paul only has to hit me once, and I'm out because he's got a frying pan for a hand. Like I can't get past it, but I know he's got one.
Cast iron.
You better work on your left, asshole, because I'll tell you that you come with the overhand right every time, and I know how to block it. And as long as I grab that big right hand of yours, I'm cool.
Whatever makes you sleep at night.
Yeah. You tried me a couple years ago, Paul. I got that overhand right. That would have hurt me bad. You know it.
He was being nice.
Work on your left is what I'm saying. Work on your left or go low. Go low, I wouldn't even see it coming. That's what I mean. You got to change your game. We fought too many years. I know your tricks. I own you. You're way tougher than me. You're way tougher than me, Paul. I'll tell you that right now. Paul's way tougher than me, but I beat him for years. Like I'm in your mind. I'm in your cage, Paul. I'm banging around in your cage. You can't even get. You don't because I'm too much deep in there from childhood of beating you up constantly. I know all your moves.
It's my turn now.
The next fight's gonna hurt. I know it already. The next one's gonna hurt because I'm talking too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I may not want to see this one.
So, Lori, but all in all, we know we have to control the talking over each other. What else can we do to improve last week's show?
Yeah, keep it changing it up. And like today, I think that we started off a little slow with stuff that wasn't funny at all.
Well, the political stuff. Well, Aaron got me talking.
Feedback for today's already.
Oh yeah. Well, that
means I'm not allowed back.
Yeah, that means we have to. No, I have to direct this next segment's gonna kill you, Lori.
Oh, I can't wait.
fucking
I can't
hilarious.
wait. No, Aaron, you can come back anytime.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Aaron. That brings us to our guest tonight.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, yes. Aaron, are you ready to play us a song for your new album?
I guess so.
This song. Let me just set it up. Which one is it actually?
We'll do Judgment Day. It's a title track.
Oh, the title track from the new album, which is not yet been released. But once you hear the song, you're going to be waiting by your computer. That's how it works, right?
Nowadays,
How will they be able to get this album once it is released?
It'll go up on iTunes, Spotify,
all the
those,
stuff.
Google Play, yeah.
Because you're a real musician that sells your music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we get people in here that are not.
No?
But you are the real deal.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, and you were on former talk shows. You were telling me about that before the show.
Oh, yeah.
That you were actually on former Canadian talk shows.
Big one. Huge
big
one.
one.
J.R. Diggs' Man in the Van.
Man in the Van
Yeah,
was
you got to look up Man in the Van.
Man in the Van. And this was a program on global television, right?
At one time, and I think it kind of went down.
But it was like a minute. Like, it wasn't very long.
No, it was a half hour.
No, I mean, like how long did it run for?
Well, I think he ran for like 11 years or something.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know how I don't know about this. And I even know who the guy is.
He had like multiple versions of it, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the problem about Canadian stuff at all. Like, this is why when I say we're Canada's only late night talk show, we are, but we're
Damn right we are.
But it's like why? Like why? Why are we?
Because J.R. Diggs is retired.
Yeah. He's making his comeback.
Yeah, he's making his comeback. He's got a podcast too, but it's like, Canada doesn't do anything to support any of their shit.
No, I think Mike Bullard was the last late night talk show, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's the last real one.
Bingo.
Yeah. They consider George Stromanopoulos.
Oh yeah.
A late night talk show as well, and George Stromanopoulos actually has run longer than we have. So he's the only one that has ran longer than Live from the Dutch Hall.
Mm.
But next year we're going to beat him.
Okay.
That's how long these things run for. So we'll be the longest running Canadian late night talk show in history. Right?
No, I think J.R. Diggs was 11 years.
See, now you're fucking busting me up.
You got a long way to go.
You got to ask Patrick Coppolino, but I think it was 11 years. I'm pretty sure.
Man, this is really fun. I'm actually in talks with J.R. Diggs about doing like his show, and he's going to do my show. But like now that this is changing everything.
It's a rivalry now.
Now I'm thinking this guy's like, that I'm going to have to step up to him a little bit, prove who's the real king of late night in Canada.
You got to get on Global. Is Global still a network?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think it is.
All right.
That's a big one, I think. But I don't.
Yeah.
Who watches TV anymore? That's the thing. Everything's changed.
You got to get on Netflix.
Right.
Or you're nothing.
Let's talk about this after your song.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But first, let's play one song from your new album, and we'll get into this because I want to talk about country music. I want to talk about touring. I want to talk about trying to make money in the music industry in Canada. I want to talk all that stuff. But first, we have to hear a new song from your new album, Judgment Day. This is the title track from Aaron Allen and the Small City Saints. It's off of Judgment Day. Here it is.
All right.
Backed up by the Nocturnal Missions, by the way.
That's right.
You guys ready?
You know it,
All
Canada.
right. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know a guy who don't know himself. Can't move forward, don't wanna look back. People around here, they wrote him off.
don't know if he's dead or alive. Don't lose sleep, I don't think about him. 'Cause I know he ain't ever coming back. So burned every bridge he crossed, lost every penny he got. Love a little, but it wasn't enough to make him stay. Got high when he should stay low. Said yeah when he could have said no. Now he's sitting around here waiting on Judgment Day. Yeah, he's sitting around here waiting on Judgment Day.
Yeah.
All right.
Give it up for these guys because we played this song once. And these guys are great. Wow. Amazing. Thank you, Nocturnal Emissions.
Aaron, thank you.
That's the thing about the Nocturnal Emissions
Wow.
that people don't understand is that they come in here like with like 15 minutes before a show sometimes and learn a song and then play it at the beginning of the song, or sometimes 4 minutes because we have to change our mind that it isn't working, and they have to do it. Like honestly, guys, after all the years of doing this, is that a skill you feel like you've developed?
I think we're just less nervous of doing it. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
after a while of just learning it on the spot. Just,
That's what I learned from my brother too about like the type of work he does because it was so foreign from my work. And then like he says, just don't be afraid of it. Just do it. Just don't be afraid
yeah,
of it. Just do
you
it.
might screw up here and there, but
Yeah. That's how you learn, right?
for the most part, it's fun.
Yeah, that's what I think too about everything in life. Like if you want to do it, like just do it and then figure it out. Like, and it doesn't
Right.
matter how old you are either, right? Like, do you find that too?
Oh, I just say I'm going to do something, then I go, oh, shit, now I got to do it.
Yeah.
Because that's the type of person I am. If I say I'm going to do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I just spout off on top of my head, and then I got to follow through.
That is exactly it. Once you publicly say, I have to do this,
Yeah.
we are doing a telethon for Live from the Dutch Hall. that we are going to like, raise money for the show, and we're going to do this, and we have it planned. We said it out loud. We have to do it, right?
It's on the board.
Yep.
It's on the board. We have to do it, and that's a big part of life because, especially in the arts, like you, for example, like I mentioned at the top of the show, you're involved in so many different artistic ventures, you know, like, and over the years, you've always reached out and done that. And if you didn't create that, if you didn't like make the steps to make those things real, none of that would exist.
No, I don't think so, and I don't do it alone though. I always bring people along like you do with your crazy ideas, and you do it together, and you know it's really exciting. Working a job every day, you don't get that excitement. You're like, hey, we're going to create something, we're going to do something.
Yeah, make something that didn't exist, other than the fact that we made it exist. Like,
exactly.
Like to me, that's like building a house or something like that. Like you can look back and say that you did something that was like tangible.
Yeah.
You know, just because you thought of it and then made it happen, you know?
Yeah, it was just a cool thing to do.
Yeah, it's just a cool thing to
fun.
do.
Yeah.
And then why can't you do that in life as many times as you want, you know? Like, you should do that as many times as you can.
I try.
Yeah.
That's why I don't work a regular job or
Yeah.
anything, right? Like, I switch all the time.
So when did you start, when did you've been a musician for 15 years, you said, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that was your first love, I guess, in the creative arts, right? Was
For
it
sure.
music?
Yeah.
And then at what point did you start in a band in high school or something like that?
Yeah, I always played with my brother. My brother was my drummer.
Yeah.
And I think he was maybe 15 and I was 20 when we started our first band or something like that. And my wife I've been with my wife 18 years, so I've been with her since the age of 18, and she got in the band, and then it was the three of us for a while.
Yeah.
And then my brother, we fought all the time, so he was like, fuck you, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then I started the solo thing, and I released my first solo CD in 06. And this is my 7th solo CD now. Well, it's not solo, but I have different members all the time. The Saints are different members all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a long time, and
It's
I
kind of
love
like
it,
the
but I hate it.
Nocturnal Emissions then, right? Like you get people, except I'm not a front man at all.
Yeah.
I'm just the puppet master.
Eduardo.
Yeah. And then, but like, so the Saints come in and out. You had to replace different Saints over the years?
Yeah, and that's fine. I love playing with all different people. This record, it wasn't intentional, so I apologize to all the Saints that were on the last record.
Yeah.
But I started working with Dan Broadbeck, who's well-known around town, and I just wanted to make a record with him. And we didn't intend it to be a country record. It just turned out that way. And some guys came on board, Archie Gamble and Tara Dumphy and Simon Larachette. And it went really traditional country when I thought it was going to be more of a rock album, having Archie and Dan on it.
Yeah.
And we just made a traditional country record.
But it's not traditional country in the fact, it is traditional country. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But it's got I would say that last track in particular has a real Steve Earle feel to it. Don't you feel?
Yeah, I ripped that off from Steve Earle for sure. For sure.
And then, but it's that's it's Steve Earle would have had to compete with where it was just changing from that old country western to the new country pop bullshit that's predominantly popular now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's what's tough for me right now because I don't fit in anywhere. Like here in Canada, there's not a lot of traditional country artists, and
I would say that you would be more considered alt country.
Yeah, I like to call it Americana now. If we're labeling it, I'm being labeled as Americana, which is fine because I like storytelling, and that's who I listen to.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I don't think it's Americana though. Americana is more like that, old timey stuff, right?
Yeah, but they used to call the band Americana, and they're mostly Canadian. So
really?
Yeah.
They would say that's Americana because it's folk and country and
a song like the night they drove Old Dixie down,
blues and stuff. Yeah, I guess it has all the American influences in it, right?
Yeah,
like country, blues, and R&B. I guess that's American too, right? Soul.
Yeah.
Probably is jazz American? Who takes credit for
sure.
jazz?
Well, I mean, jazz. Shit. That's such a broad. I mean, you could go into the Latin side of it. World. I mean, jazz is really a world thing.
Yeah, because it depends on what you classify as jazz.
I think if you take jazz in America, and then you take the African music and Cuban music and Latin music from around the world, and that's when you started to branch off into country, blues, rock, pop.
All came from jazz?
Everything. I think it came
from Latin.
It all started with originally African music, drumming. Drumming was the original thing. I mean, that was how it all started. And then I think jazz kind of came after that, along with classical. Of course, classical's in there. I mean, classical.
Yeah. It's been since forever. Yeah.
But I think jazz is influential in starting
country.
And then because country is very similar to blues, you're expressing your pains, your sufferings. There's a lot of similarities between country and blues.
Well, exactly,
and especially from that time.
Well, and then that's the point, isn't it? Is that the new country doesn't have this the pop country that they play on the radio that's super huge. And I know, Laura, you love it.
You know what? I used to. I don't listen to it anymore.
It's the same fucking song over and over again.
Thank you, Aaron.
It was when 95.3 was there, and I had kids, and I was watching what was on the radio. That's how I got into country music,
right.
And that was the only thing. And then now I'm not into it at all. But sometimes there's things that we'll find on that have a little bit of a country feel, but it's not country.
Yeah.
It's country.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Excuse me, sorry, Lori. That's a live. I'm sorry, Lori, to you.
And burps in the mic.
I'm sorry. It's my fault. I can't help it. But that's the point is that new country music doesn't have the same soul. They don't tell a story, and that's why he played Wheeler Walker Jr. off the top. Is because that guy, he's he doesn't give a shit at all. He just wants to make sure that you're telling the truth, more than anything else, telling an authentic story about your life. And so he goes kind of so far the other way that he kind of he's going really spelling it out. But that's a unique or a very big distinction in today's country music versus the roots of it when it was good. Is that it used to be that it would tell you about you fucked up in life, and you did something bad, and you learned something, and then something happened to you, and it was a whole arc of it. Where now it's about being a redneck and getting fucked up and it's the same as the rap shit where it's just about getting all fucked up and getting laid and stuff, Well, and no one ever learns a lesson or looks bad in it.
But those things sell right now.
Yeah, why?
And that goes back to when you had Universal Music writing songs, and that's what people listen to on their whatever record or gramophone they had. The songs were being written by groups, and I'm I'm not, Sony isn't one of them, but like a group like that.
Yeah.
And you take back before the Beatles and before any of that. But when they were getting bored of that and they started to realize that all this weird blues and country music and all this random shit that isn't on the radio isn't being sold or broadcast, that started getting popular. The stuff that's old wasn't becoming popular, so they started to bring that into the radio. That stuff gets unpopular, and all of a sudden then you've got pop and rap and all of this new stuff. That becomes popular, and so on and so on and so forth.
And normally in the history of this stuff, you'd notice that when the economy or when the political environment went shitty, then the music would get good again.
It'd get honest.
And then people would go away from the stuff that you're talking about, the corporately produced music, and go into the real stuff.
Record hunting and trying to find black radio or like black market radios and pirate radio stations and all of that.
And even now with the internet, it's like even more so. Like people get so compartmentalized in whatever they're into, that the people that are in Aaron Allen, the Small City Saints, are going to be like really into Aaron Allen, the Small City Saints.
Yeah.
But they're not going to know anybody else. You know what I mean? Like it's like people seem to like get into their like little groups that they're like super into, and then they're not looking at everything else that exists. Because there's so much
great
shit
about it, though. Like the internet, we don't get paid. You know, we don't get paid well, but that's what's great about it. Radio to me is pretty shit, and I always get mad because they don't play me on the radio.
Yeah.
And I got friends who are DJs and shit, so sorry guys. But I always get pissed off because they don't play me on the radio. But I don't listen to the radio.
Yeah.
I don't listen to it. I listen to my iTunes.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And I think that's the real thing is like the media's changed so much.
Yeah.
That there's these comics that got it. They're like very experienced, well-respected comics. They got a show on AM radio, and they got a show on AM radio, and like they want us to help them promote it. But I'm like, who listens to AM radio anymore? Like it's dead.
Yeah.
Like it's totally dead. Why would I help you support something that no one's gonna fucking listen to? Like it's AM radio. You can get like, I don't know, who listens to AM? Does anyone listen to AM?
I used to when I was in the tractor before I got satellite radio.
Yeah, I can't even get the
it.
AM stations in anymore.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even come in. So like when I try to listen to it, 'cause I used to listen to like the sports one.
Yeah, that's what I listened to was AM 590. But it's like you had to be in the right field. Yeah. Telling me beliefs and like fuck.
Yeah, or I could just get a fucking like download something and listen to it for a whole hour.
It's so
or
awesome
something.
right now. Yeah.
You're telling me you've driven tractors and you don't like today's country?
No, I don't. I
Really?
hate it. Yeah.
Oh,
I
really?
hate every
Dirt
minute of it.
roads and tractors?
Yeah, you know why? Because I'm actually doing it. I'm not fucking making a stupid shit song about it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Partying
know.
on the back roads. Like, I'm from Chatham, a
Yeah,
small
no, I
farming
actually drink a
community.
beer. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no, our friends died on those dirt roads flipping their pickup
Yeah.
trucks. The parties weren't fucking cool, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Also, you're
painting a
you're
stupid-
from Chatham, right?
yeah.
So like, how many guys wear cowboy hats and cowboy boots in Chatham? None, right?
No.
And this is the same in Norfolk County because we don't have
No.
livestock. If you have cattle, you wear cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. I get it, right? You have
Yeah.
cattle. But if you're just like growing like fucking greenhouse cucumbers and you're wearing like a cowboy hat, you know, like what the fuck is your problem? And I had a guy that he was in he grew up with me in Waterford, you know.
Yeah.
We go to University of Guelph where all the farmers are cowboys there because they're like come from livestock operations, which I get. I'm not going to fault those guys for it. They're real deals.
That's right.
You know, they're real deal. But like from Norfolk, a guy shows up, all of a sudden he's there a week at University of Guelph. He's wearing a cowboy hat and a big belt buckle and stuff. I'm like, fuck, dude, you grow greenhouse plants. Like you don't wear a cowboy hat. You listen to AC/DC and you fucking like you're a skid.
Yeah.
You had a mullet till like last month. You know, you just cut it off. You're a fucking skid like the rest of us. Like, and that's what Norfolk County was when I was growing up. No one listened to country music. We listened to fucking like rock,
Like hard
and,
rock
like hard
music,
rock
priming
music.
tobacco.
Yeah, it was all like pump up music. Like, It was all like hard rock, and no one
Classic
listened to.
rock.
Yeah,
Classic rock, exactly.
my dad listened to country, but it was old country, and I to be honest, I liked it. Like it was good stuff. Like I love all the old with like the old guys like Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson, Merle
In the
Haggard.
Killyard,
Yeah.
wasn't
Waylon
it like
Jennings.
Rocket
Waylon
101?
Jennings.
Well, the
Rocket 101?
Yeah,
I think that's
great
what
station.
we listened to.
Yeah, sometimes we listen to 820.
Get outta here.
The oldies 820 or oldies 1150 was a lot of times what we listened to on the planter or in the strip room.
The only station
You know what a strip room is, Aaron?
No.
Sounds
Sounds awesome.
ominous, doesn't it? A strip room.
He wants
Yeah.
to know what the strip
I
room
do.
is.
It's not awesome.
This is a true statement that I've heard come out of my wife's mouth many times. Or no, in my life I've heard it come out. I've been with my wife for
Is it in
28 years, right?
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a long time. It's been 16, so similar to you.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like a long time.
It's gone by fast, really quick, right?
Oh, it's
Not-
been
not a
wonderful.
long
It's
time,
been
yeah.
wonderful.
For
That's the
you.
thing. If it wasn't so wonderful, it would be easier for us. Because we
Yeah.
wouldn't feel so bad about like being dedicated to one woman the whole time, right?
Oh,
But if she wasn't so good, I'd be tagging puss all the time. But as it is right now, my wife's wonderful. So I have had sex with less women than Stephen Hawking.
yeah. I'm with you. Three
Yeah.
women. Three
Yeah.
women I've had sex with in my life. It's been.
Yeah, you
yeah.
remember
I
the
was
other
with
two?
her when I was 18.
Yeah, but you remember the other two? Like you
I
remember
do.
them often?
I'm not gonna go.
Wise man.
I could call.
Are
I
you
could
friends
call
with
it-
both of them on Facebook?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, does
Yeah.
your wife know that?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it
But-
because do you have a relationship with both those girls that you've had sex with? Like, are you friends with them still?
No.
Just a
I don't even know where they
peripheral.
live or anything.
Oh,
It's just, I think they're checking me out, trying to see what I look like these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't check them out. I didn't seek them out. I don't think.
I am Facebook friends with every woman I've had sex with as well. But I also sleep with that same woman every night. One lonely woman. The only one that's experienced my love is Jane Van Dyke. Jane, you know that as a special treat for you, that you're the only one that's experienced the love that I can give a woman. You're the only one. Enjoy it, baby. What we do know, Aaron, is that if we make that decision, then we're going to dedicate our life to a woman that we love.
Yeah.
We're also going to dedicate our efforts into pleasing that woman. Correct?
I try.
Yes.
Yeah, I try.
Like
but
you-
she puts up with a lot of shit. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, you know that sexually, you have to know all of her kinks and satisfy all of them. Like your moves that work with your wife after 18 years of being with her
yeah.
are going to work on your wife perfectly. You know it because you build on your experiences. You try something, she says, "I don't like that. I like that." Right?
Yeah.
Then you say, "I'll
Most
leave
of it
that
is
out."
I don't like that.
Yeah,
Most
so you
of
leave it out. Right?
the more the years pass, I don't like that more and more. I don't know how yours is going, but mine's regressing here.
Yeah, I understand how that goes. It's like you're saying, "You want to try something new?" And he's like, "Okay, I'll try something new." And like, "Oh, stop doing that."
No, I don't even try anymore.
Yeah, mostly you can actually say instead of "stop doing that," you could probably say, "Get your finger out of my butt." That's the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Like, I understand what you're saying. But you try because you want to try to see, like, oh, maybe we can turn this up a notch. Maybe we can make it it's a better thing. But most of the time, it is a failure.
Yeah.
But I'm saying when you have the night where you're saying, okay, I'm not going to try anything new. I'm just going to go to all the greatest hits.
Yeah.
I'm going to play all the moves. I'm going to go elbow, asshole, whatever you do.
Yeah.
You go your move set, and then boom, she loves it. And you're like, yeah, because I fucking know you. I rock your puss because I'm great at it, right? Like
Yeah.
I've dedicated my concentration to making you happy, and you've done it for that many years, right? I think that no one can bang your wife, Aaron, as good as you. Is one of my
I hope
point.
that's true. But it seems like you guys got a really good relationship here.
You're
Yeah.
telling me right now that I said you don't relate to that because
I do. Well, my wife's pregnant right now too, so
With
it's,
your
it's
baby?
tough. But yeah, with my I think my baby.
that's nice.
But it's more like it's been a week. I guess we should do this. That's where we're at.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't care.
But that's
Like,
not the point because that's the same with me.
Yeah,
I agree
love
that.
her. I don't care.
Yeah. But when it is your time to go, you're like,
Yeah.
I know my way around this joint.
Oh, yeah,
You know, you've been around there a couple of times. You know what she likes and doesn't like.
Yeah.
Is my point. And then you can take pleasure in the fact that no one in the world can bang your wife as good as you can, right?
I don't think that's true, but
Why?
I'll allow.
I'm disappointed in you. I really am. Don't you think that after 18 years, you should have figured out more than some stranger out the street that just bangs your wife willy-nilly?
I think she could always do better, and I tell her that. I'm like,
Well, that's a problem with you, my friend, not
Yeah?
with your penis and your skills.
well,
Get yourself a break.
as a whole.
Get your wife on the phone right now. Come on.
She's sleeping.
Yeah, I know. I bet you're playing down your role. I think you do a good job.
I
You're too
treat her
sensitive.
well. I treat her well. I cook dinner and stuff. But like you, I'm an artistic mind, and she's always working, paying the bills, and holding it down, and I'm always sneaking out and doing other things, and so I'm always like, I feel a little bit bad about myself sometimes because I'm doing all these crazy things.
Yeah, you should. But
spending all of our money on records that nobody buys.
But that's what makes you work, right? You
Yeah.
have your own things, but
Yeah.
together you're a team.
perfect team.
Yeah, that's true.
What I'm telling
That's
you to
true.
do, Aaron, is like after tonight's show,
Yeah.
you go home to your wife and you start really making a conscious effort to concentrate on how to make her toes curl when you make love, because that is going to change your whole life. You just sit there and say, like, no. All I want to concentrate on is you and pleasuring you.
Not
Yeah.
just doing it for the sake
Even
of
as
doing
a-
it, but
'cause
doing
it's
it
Sunday.
to-
And you have but the Sunday thing is good. You like
Yeah.
you don't want to push her on Monday when she's busy. You don't want to push her on Tuesday or all the other
Yeah.
days she's busy. But Sunday, you know that you're going to get Sunday.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, Sunday, I'm going to like fuck the shit out of you. Like I'm really going to. I mean that in a romantic way. I mean that
I hope
in
my
a
wife
most.
is sleeping right now.
Yeah. I mean, because you're going to say to her, like, I know you.
Yeah.
I love you. You support me my whole life, and I'm going to figure out everything that's going to make you happy, like physically, like in a marital way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think she's. I know what you mean. I think she's satisfied. I'm satisfied. I think we're satisfied like that. Did you have kids in the house still?
Yeah, too.
Yeah, because I got a 4-year-old running around, and that makes it hard.
Yeah.
And I got one on the way. So I think in another 18 years, my sex life is going to be really good.
That's the right answer. But I'm just saying, every chance you get, you got to make it count, because
Yeah.
those are the things that are going to keep her around. Like
It's good.
Because
I'm
as they
fucking
get
with
more
you.
sparingly, as you get more, like you don't get as many chances at her,
Yeah.
because she's got life going on. Then when you do get that chance,
Yeah,
you gotta make it work, man. You gotta make it work, because that's gotta make her think like, hey, maybe I'll come back for more business, right? You can't think because it's your wife you can just get away with it just by not like hitting on her, like putting
Yeah.
in the moves, You think if another dude wants to bang your wife, he's gonna put in some effort. He's gonna try to like really
romance.
romance.
I need
So
to
if
romance
you make her toes curl,
Yeah.
she's gonna let you do it more and next time she's probably gonna give you more of what you want because you made her toes curl.
Yeah,
I think that happened one time this year. I think her toes curled once this year.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
good. Build on that.
Yeah.
Make it better.
Next
try.
year, make
No.
it twice.
So
The
you
next year, make it 3 times.
I'll
right?
try.
Just
3
keep
times.
building on it. You got to start somewhere out here.
I'll try. Can I come here for marriage counseling every week?
yeah. I hope everyone's listening to this at home. If you have a wife at home, don't stop hitting on
glad
her.
to help. Glad
You really have to hit on her. 'Cause
I love my wife, and it's good. Everything's good.
Yeah.
to hit on her, though. You know what? That's the thing.
Yeah, that I don't do that. I
Hit on
don't
her.
do that. I
And you know what? Words
Yeah.
are important.
yeah.
They are.
Like
I'm not a guy that's like, you're looking really good tonight, and I need
Yeah.
to be like that.
Yeah,
Because
you
she
do.
does, but I don't say it. I don't give that to her.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. What a
It's
jerk.
It's easy
What a
to
jerk.
take. Yeah. Tell her.
What a jerk. I
This is
am.
what the whole
You
show's become.
tell
We're
her
supposed
how
to
pretty she
Yeah.
is.
we're supposed to promote his album.
This
We
is
end
a
up
show
just-
for the ladies.
Yeah,
That's,
it's
it.
show for
That's
ladies.
your birthday present to me. Tell her she's pretty.
So which album is
All
this?
right.
You've made albums with a number of different bands and a number of
Yeah.
different forms. And this is so. What number of album is this for you? And all the incarnations of all the different things you've done.
I think 11 or 12.
Wow.
Now that is an incredible body of work.
Yeah.
Something you should be very proud of. And that work lives well past your years. Like you must take comfort in that.
Yeah, I hope people are listening. Every once in a while, somebody will send me a message, and they tell me they're listening. Like, once it's out there, you never know that people are listening.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
I played a show, a guy's diaper party, because we're 35, and this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And it was all dudes in this basement, and we're all punk rock guys. That's where I started out, punk rock. And I have this song, Slow. It's really quiet and kind of, I don't know, romantic, I don't know, feeling. And all these dudes sang this song.
Yeah.
Like 25 or 30 guys in the basement just sing this song slow, and I'm like, wow, people are listening.
Yeah.
It's
But
a
I don't know
great
that.
song, by the way. I think it's criminally underrated. It's criminally underplayed. You also sing it with your wife, which probably helped in the bedroom. And it was the first time I ever heard you was on FM 96, and they played the song.
They played it? What?
You are on the radio.
There you go.
I didn't
You're
even
on
know
the
that.
radio.
That's the first time I ever heard anything about you. I heard it once, and I was like, "That's a great fucking song."
I love corporate radio. All that stuff I said earlier.
Yeah.
What?
You're awesome.
My career is done after this.
Well, it is
Wow,
nice.
I did
though.
not know that. That's
Yeah.
cool. Thank you, FM 96.
And that is a pretty cool thing, though. Even if it's just like a few people, you get to that party where you're like, okay, if this is many people here know it, then how many other people know it? You know, and then you're like, you can't stop now.
No.
You know, then when you get that little bit of encouragement, you're like, how do you stop? Right?
Well, that's the problem. You get a little bit and you keep going and you live off of that for a little bit,
and then it wears you down because you think like, oh, I was like fooling myself because of that.
Oh yeah.
And then you're like, I'm like a fraud, and I don't.
I'm worthless.
Yeah.
I just sit around stewing. Slow
It's-
did nothing. I'm worthless. But now that I know it got played on FM 96, I
Yeah, you
can
got a new life.
live another day.
One time.
Yeah. That's right. Eh? That's what it really is, though.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, we talk about, like, trying to make money in, like, entertainment in Canada. It's, like, crazy. You have to, like, basically take all the risk. No one else can take any of it. You have to book your own shows. You have to, like, make your own tours. You have to do everything yourself to make anyone care. And even then, you don't know if anyone's going to give a shit, right?
It's a risk. And, like, now, when you get bigger, you got to pay. Like, I pay radio promoters to get my stuff to the radio.
Oh,
It
really?
costs me money.
Yeah.
I have a PR guy. It costs me money to pay him for him to solicit my music to stuff. And that's what I have to do because now I'm at this level.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, I thought Slow was a hit, and people come up to me and go, this is a hit. And, you know, people aren't wrong. And I've sent it out, and people aren't wrong. They tell me all the time, but
Yeah.
I've been rejected by a ton of people. You
Yeah.
know, so it's I don't
So
know.
were the Beatles.
That's
Yeah.
a nice model about Wheeler Walker Jr. is that the guy has never been played on any radio station anywhere.
Yeah.
And he's the top 10 country artist in the States always.
Really?
And because he does podcasts, he does like all the the internet stuff to push his art out, but no one else knows about him. Like it's just YouTube and
I didn't
fucking
know about
internet.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And earlier before we started, I wanted to mention something, but I said I'd save it for the show. Your song "Slow" and the song that we did at the top
Yeah.
are similar in chord structure, but I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want it to fuck with your head while we were doing the song, and you broke into the.
I'd start singing slow.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. So I didn't say anything. But anyway,
I
thought
don't-
I'd bring it up now.
I appreciate that. I don't play slow. I rarely play it live. I wasn't playing it.
Yeah.
And because it has too many chords. And it fucks me up. I can't play it. I always screw it up. And people just keep yelling it out, so now I have to play it. But
There you go.
yeah, I wish it would do something. It's going to come out in a movie in like a year
Oh, really?
called Project Hope.
Really?
Yeah, and I just submitted it to like the show Heartland. So
Oh,
I hope it gets on there. Some touchy-feely thing.
that'd be a good
But-
thing.
Isn't it
Yeah.
funny how back in the day, like you'd be considered a sellout to do something like that of your art, and now it's like that's the only way you
Yeah.
can
Oh, yeah.
get your art out there is to tag on to something else, someone else's project. You know?
Yeah. Back in the day, they were giving you $100,000 to make a music video, or $500,000. Now it's like we all make it with our handy cams. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
The
Yeah.
internet's great for indie artists and the kids that know how to do this.
Yeah.
But I'm at the weird age where I'm like, I'm not doing any of this internet shit.
Yeah.
I don't promote myself, and so I got to pay this other guy to do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm lazy.
I'm doing the same thing right
Yeah.
now, and I don't know what I'm doing, like at all, like if it's the right thing or not, because
Oh,
like
you never do. Even paying somebody, it might not be the right thing.
yeah, because you pay a guy, and then you get all these people that like are like part of a algorithm to get you followers or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you don't. They're not listening to your. They're not like consuming your product.
No.
Like, they
Showing
don't
up
really
at
care.
Newton
They
or-
don't like what you're doing. They're just trying to like support you so they can get supported. You know.
Yeah.
And it's just a self-congratulating like inner circle of people that are like selling to each other in a fucking loop. You know.
Yeah.
All
it's-
those entrepreneur guys. You know what I mean? Like they're like all saying they're gonna like change the world or whatever, and they live for themselves and not have to care. But like they just sell to each other.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Stroking their own egos all the time,
yeah,
you know.
showing their Lamborghinis and shit. Like
Yeah.
like that's what matters, you know.
Making money off my song Slow.
Yeah.
No, nobody's
worth
making
it,
money
though.
off
If
that.
you made a ton of money, like let's say you made a ton of money, like all of a sudden Aaron Allen fucking lights up because of this appearance on Live from the Dutch Hall.
Yeah.
And then you're like all of a sudden a big deal,
Yeah.
right? Now, you're in your 30s or mid-30s, right?
Right.
So you're like you're fairly like developed as a man, right?
Yeah.
So by the time you found this like a success, you're already the kind of developed. But how would it change you, do you think?
It
If
would
you got like ridiculous. I'm talking ridiculous wealth and fame.
It would ruin my life for sure. Yeah, 100%. I'd start drinking again.
Yeah.
I'm going out on tour, and I haven't been on tour in like 8 years, and I'm really scared to leave my daughter. I haven't left my daughter for a day before, I don't think. So
Oh my God.
I'm going to go out, and I don't want to leave my daughter. That's the most important thing, you know.
Yeah,
and
that's tough.
I don't want to miss a day of her life, right? So it would ruin my life. I don't want to be big. I just want to have a name that's good enough that I could go out and play 300-seat theaters and, you know, just on a weekend and actually get paid.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, get paid for my time driving out there, like comics back when I did stand-up.
Yeah.
We drive to Hamilton to make no money,
Yeah.
and I get home at 4 in. It's terrible.
Yeah, I do it every night.
Yeah, it's so tough, and that's how I feel with music. I just want to get to a point where I feel the material is good enough.
Yeah.
I feel like if I had enough exposure, I could do that.
Yeah.
You know, but for some reason, I'm not getting the radio play and stuff. And I joke and I diss, all that stuff. But yeah, I would like radio play. I would like exposure.
Yeah. And it's not like it's just a weird world now because you don't know what the right channel is because like it's not radio anymore. It's not like because like you don't know where people are listening. You look at the younger generation; they don't listen. They don't watch TV. They don't listen to radio. They don't. They're just
They don't
always
go outside.
They don't do anything. They find their own world. How do you penetrate them?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we just got to concentrate on people like us. Go forward with them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any? Do you get any consideration of vinyl and stuff like that? Do you do any work on vinyl now?
We have one.
Yeah, my last
we have
record.
one at our house.
Oh, you have Aaron Allen and Small City Saints.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the record.
Yeah.
Is it one of the first? Is it an original copy? Or what was Charters is big on getting the first album because we went and saw Cattle. Do you know Cattle?
Oh yeah.
And then and Charters wanted to buy one of the records, but he wanted their first album and first pressing of the first album, and he's like, they're like, well, this one's not that good. Like, get this album's way better. This album's no, I want first pressing, first album because he wants it.
Because he's a definition of a hipster.
Yeah, right. For the collector value or whatever.
I want the 180-gram one.
Yeah. Of course.
I think it's awesome that tapes and records are coming back.
Oh,
like
it's
people
great.
want something tangible again,
Yeah. I couldn't afford it on this one, but last time I did a Kickstarter that paid for it.
Yeah.
And I'm in this weird, a lot of older people come out and see me, and then the younger people that buy vinyl don't really get what I'm doing. So I got a lot of records at home sitting in my garage.
Oh, I see.
So this time around, it didn't make sense. Like my CDs are sold out.
Yeah. Because that's who you're selling to.
Vinyl, I'm just kind of out of the loop in the age group. But
I don't know. Like I bought my daughter a record player for her birthday.
Yeah.
Oh God, I want one of those things so bad. It's got a tape deck in the side and a Bluetooth and all this shit. It was like,
oh really?
It was unbelievable. I want one so bad because I think I want to get back into it because I miss the crackle. I miss I miss putting the needle on and the whole thing. I remember as a kid, like when you did it again. I don't know. It must be the nostalgia. You just remember.
Yeah.
And then I got my old records that I had from my mom's house and played them for my kids and stuff like that. And my old tape that I had in my 76 Monarch that I played when I was 16, like the whole time. Zeppelin 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Tapes are coming back too.
Yeah, and this thing's got a tape deck right in it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like I like tapes are huge right now, actually, and I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I get the record thing because it actually sounds better. Like when I listen to my digital copy or my record, it sounds way better.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a hipstery thing, but then I bought a record player and I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
it
it does sound way
It's
better.
awesome.
The low end on it.
Steve bought an old shitty record hi-fi record
$20.
player.
It's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like one of those huge panels that's like a whole like counter.
It's bigger than
Yeah.
my piano.
Yeah, it's like, and then you flip it up and it's got the record player on the
remember
inside.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had two of them when we were growing up. Yeah.
Yeah. People
One
were
was in the
giving those
bunkhouse.
away 10
Yeah.
years
One
ago.
was in the
yeah.
bunkhouse for a while, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
$20.
Wow.
He got it for $20. He plays it in his house and it sounds awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, like for $20. Like It's so cool, man, that these things are like that. People are going back to that because I think that's where it's going to go. Eventually, you get so far removed, the pendulum swings, you come back. You know.
Yeah, like this pop country is in now, but there's people like Sturgill Simpson and Chris Stapleton and stuff bringing it back, and I don't know. There's room for both of us.
You know what it is, though? The people buying the albums, like the people buying albums now. Look at the top-selling albums, and this has been the rise of country.
Yeah,
is because the people in the middle of America are the least likely to be like adapt to new technology.
Oh,
so they're the ones that's still likely to buy albums. And you look at the other albums that took off, like when the music industry went down, it was like children's albums. So like Hannah Montana and that bullshit, like Selena Gomez or whatever the crap was the kids like, because that shit. The parents would buy them for their birthdays and stuff like that. They need to still buy them shit, so they buy them that crap. So they would still buy albums for stuff you buy for kids. That's why the pop records went up. And then country was dumb people that didn't know how to work the fucking internet in the middle of the, because they were like just like hicks or whatever in the middle of the country or whatever. And they were like, I don't fucking know this new stuff. So they kept buying records because they didn't know any better.
Right.
And then that's why the country kept selling, because they're the last ones to adopt to stealing music, right?
And it still sells. It's still doing great.
I think because they're just less likely. Maybe they're honest religious people or something that like sit in the middle of the country and like don't want to steal.
Yeah.
You know, but or they're just like don't know how to use the technology, right?
A little bit of both, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have? Okay, so is there anything we should promote you one more time? You got a new album coming out on April 27th. It's Aaron Allen and the Small City Saints. It's Judgment Day. If you'd like to go to London to what's the bar?
Aeolian Hall.
Aeolian Hall. Go support Aaron Allen as a CD release. I'd like to thank our super fan Lori. Aaron, is there anything else you want to plug? I didn't even get a chance to talk to you about your charity work, which is unbelievable what you do.
Oh, that's okay.
But we can save it for the next show that you come down, because you really do a lot of stuff with people that I love that we do in the community. And to be honest, Aaron, you're one of my favorite guys because you're such a legitimate Renaissance man who does a lot of good things, and I think we have a lot more people like you in the world.
Aww.
I really do believe that to be true. So I want to thank you for coming in, Aaron. You've been a great guest.
Woo.
And Lori,
Thanks for having me.
You are my sister, and I love you. And you have been a great supporter of my show since the very beginning. You are the super fan of all super fans. You know that. And we want to really thank you for coming in. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And I love you very much.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Lori.
birthday.
And everybody who's listening live from the Dutch Hall, I want to thank you. Tell your friends, share the episode, do whatever you can.
Yeah.
We're going to play a little song to close the show. This is for Lori Ball for her birthday.
Woo.
Enjoy this song. It's a little funky song for you, everybody. If you'd like to support our show or give us a piece of feedback, you can do so at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com or do it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that shit. We're all on it. Looking for Dutch Hall or Live from the Dutch Hall. You'll find us. And until then, we'll see you NT. See you next Thursday.
Woo.
Very superstitious writings on the wall. It's very superstitious. Well, ladders about to fall. 13-month-old baby broke the looking glass. 7 years of bad luck. Things good look bad. When you believe in things that you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition ain't that way. Yeah, you're very superstitious. Wash your face and hands. Rid me of the problem. Do all that you can. William Missons, ladies and gentlemen, with Mr. Aaron Allen.
Yeah.
Great show, everybody.
That's an
Thanks a lot.
ending.
Woo.